when does and I don't want to use the word mutiny because, that was already thrown around when it comes to the Patriots and their quarterback situation, but when does the divide start to happen in Cleveland if this continues down this path? Because it feels like it's getting worse every week, and Stefanski's got to answer a bunch of questions, and there's really nothing they can do about it. They're trying to find little wins. Nick Chubb returned to practice, but they do not look good, and it looks worse every week. And we were saying this earlier, LaVar, Cleveland looks like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, not just underachieving, they look like one of the worst teams in the league.
They are one of the worst teams in the league. They don't just look it, they are it. I mean, and I don't know why they're so bad. Like, and anticipating what they may be this season, I just continue to feel as though Deshaun Watson has to prove to his teammates, to the fans, to the media, that he can be something different than what he's been in seasons past for them. The potential of it has existed because his personnel, as Q highlights so much and so well, his personnel says that the results should be drastically different, but they're not. And then we're talking about a coach who, I believe, wasn't he the coach of the year last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you saw an offense operate at a different level when there was a different quarterback in there. And it just begs the question of, is Deshaun Watson's participation and presence on this team dragging this team down? Is he a quicksand quarterback? Ooh. And that's the feeling I get when I watch this team, is they are attached to the hip of Deshaun Watson for good or for bad. And you're seeing what the results of him not being more than what he has been, being the results of why this Cleveland Browns team, and I mean, there are other things that they're struggling with, but I think it ultimately falls on the fact that you're not getting stellar, you're getting subpar play from the quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns.
It's the one thing holding them back. And you have to, here's the issues. We've already heard from Kevin Stefanski, they're not making a quarterback change, even though I think it would be good for the team, the locker room, everyone, to try to find a spark. This offense seems lifeless. I mean, forget about the errant throws or him leaving clean pockets and inviting more pressure than there actually is. And are there offensive line miscues? Sure, they're banged up. Are the wide receivers dropping some balls? Sure. That happens everywhere. Like, it's not like there's a greater clip in Cleveland than there is on other teams. He is playing awful. And they need a spark, but Stefanski doesn't want to do it, or the organization doesn't want to do it. So there's going to be, someone's going to take the fall for this. I don't, the hard thing is, like, Ken Dorsey's the OC. Is Ken going to? I hope not. I know Ken. I think he's a good coach. And I don't think he has anything to do with it. Is Kevin Stefanski going to, a year after being the coach of the year? A year after this team going to the playoffs with their fourth-string quarterback? He shouldn't. I mean, even the defense is getting worn down, where they're not looking like the defense that Jim Schwartz led last year, even though they're tremendously talented. It's hard when you see an NFL team like this that makes one bad decision, and because of the compensation, because of the contract, because they dug their heels in when they made the decision to go after a guy that probably hasn't played his best football in 5 years, not since 2019. And they've now put themselves in this position where they can't move on, or they don't want to move on and admit the mistake. That's just stubbornness, man. And that's the hard part, is right now this team is a shell of itself from where it was 267 days ago. It's sad to see.
Do you think that the front office has already told him, you can't bench him? Like, you have to figure this out. He's your quarterback under no circumstances, because as a coach, aren't they kind of handcuffing him to this guy when Stefanski's looking around?
Yeah, I think they handcuffed him when they signed him. I don't think Stefanski wanted him then. I mean, that's just the truth. Like, if not that the timing would have worked out, but if you would have gave Stefanski the pick of which quarterback he wanted to go get or try to get, I don't know that he was wild about the decision to bring him on. And so now he's even more handcuffed with him.
They need to do something. I'd rather bench him and go out with a blaze of glory. Like, F y'all. F it. I'm going to go out my way. And I'm going to see what we can do with Jameis. I'm going to see what we can do going in a different direction. Because I'm not saving my job by keeping him in here, which y'all telling me to keep him in the game anyway. So I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. So I'm going to at least go out winning. Like, what, they fired me for winning? I put in a different quarterback and I got fired for winning? I don't think so. They better do something because they stink. They ain't a good team. And it don't look like they're trending in a different direction, like they're almost there, like they're right there at it. They're close to being a good team. It's not a good team. It's not a good team, man.
Yeah, it's a rough way to go for the Cleveland Browns right now. But,
It's a hard knocks life.
Hey, Lee, what would you do if you're the Cleveland Browns, Lee?
I would just start drinking. Is what I would do.
That's about right.
Dang.
That's what I was.
I can't even judge you, dog. Yeah. I can't even judge you this morning.
I
think he's saying what everyone's thinking, so.
I don't know, man.
Hey, buddy.